Hi, here we go. Another little video. This one, we have a different type of half-life question. It says, how much of the material is left after so many years have passed? So we want to look at what's going on here. One of the important pieces of information they give you is what the half-life is. Sometimes they'll write it like that. Sometimes they'll write it like this. T half-life would be 6.13 hours. Pay attention to the units here. This one says how much of a 5-gram sample would be left after 1 day. Well, the 5-gram sample, this is what we start with. So that's going to be at time 0. We're starting with 5 grams in this case. Okay, so that's the whole material that we've got right now. Another thing we want to look at here is 1 day after 1 day. Well, I need to, first of all, those to be in the same units. And so I'm going to say 1 day is 24 hours. And now I need to find out how many half-lives that would be. How far do I keep going? How much is left after so much time has passed? Well, I need to go down here and find out when I stop dividing. Because after 1 half-life, I would have 2.5 grams. And when do I stop? So I'm going to take this 24-hour period and divide it into half-life periods. So I'm going to come down here at the bottom and take my 24 hours, that's my total time, and divide it by 6.13 hours. That is my time for 1 half-life. So I'm dividing this up, and I find that it's 3.9 half-lives. Okay, that's really close to 4. We'll show you a more exact answer here in just a minute, but we're going to get very close to this. So let's come back up here. This tells me I can stop at about 4 half-lives, or just shy of 4 half-lives. So as I keep going here, I've got my first half-life period, my first 6.3 hours. I'm going to have 2.5 grams left. Then another half-life period, another 6.3 hours, I'm going to have half of this left. So this, you may want to get your calculator out for some of these. 1.25 grams. And then a third half-life, another 6.3 hours, I'm going to have half of this left. So if I divide that in half using calculator or what works for you, I've got 6.25 grams. And a fourth half-life, I've got half of that left. Again, dividing that amount in half, I've got 0.3125 grams. Well, that answers the question. How much is left after 1 day? When you're solving these problems and doing this on the assignment, make sure you include the units. That's what the grading portion of that is expecting to have. Okay, so how do we get a more exact answer if we want to go in and get a lot closer here? I want to look at what's going on using my fraction of the material left. Well, here, let's do this one. I've got 1/2 of the material left, and so I would go 1/2 times the 5 grams. After 2 half-lives, I've got 1/2 of that 1/2, or 1/4. It can also be written as 1/2 squared. Then after 3 half-lives, I've got half of that 1/4, or half of the half of the half, or 1/2 to the third power. Notice that these exponents are matching the number of half-lives. So this would be 1/2 to the, since that's the 4th half-life, it's 1/2 to the 4th power. Well, gosh, it wasn't quite 4, was it, when I come down here and look? So I could take 1/2 to the, we found it's about 3.9. And if I look at my calculator closer, I could take it out more decimal places. I think it was 915. Okay, that's going to give us the fraction of the material that's left over. So if I take 1/2 to the 3.915 power, times it by my original, I had 5 grams to begin with. Using my calculator, I go 1/2 raised to the 3.915 power, and then multiply that answer by 5 grams. That tells me I have 0.331 grams left. Well, that's really close to what we had here. It was just shy. I've got a little bit less on this one because it went to the 4 full half-lives. This is a little bit more that was left over because it doesn't quite go to the 4 half-lives there. I will be looking for the simpler answer on the assignment sheet. And that's it for this one. This is how much is left.